What's up, guys and gals, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle for another episode of Stoic Studios' The Banner Saga. In the previous episode, we had gotten into a fight with a big ol' kind of sword singer type mage enemy, and Ivan had gotten himself taken out, and unfortunately, we had lost one of our heroes. He had gotten his arm chopped off. He had found himself in a disarming situation. So let's go do some of the conversational stuff that we have to do in between here and the next episode, and see what's going on so that we can give ourselves a trajectory. Alette says, "Can you save?" Yes, probably. Give me silence. Nearly 3 hours pass by silently as Avon plies his trade. Flesh slowly forms and closes across Ivor's torn frame. That is as much as I can do. He should make it. Thank you. The mender looks exhausted, leaning heavily against the bed. When was the last time you slept? A couple days ago. I'm okay. I just need to sit. Before you can catch him, the mender crumbles to the floor. And it looks like we've moved into the next chapter. Now, things are kind of getting interesting out here in the Banner Saga. It's going to be a little bit interesting. I bet we're probably going to have to go after that Howler guy or... Your sight swims as if underwater. Memories fly away like startled ravens before you can capture them. With great effort, you remember who you are. Juno. You also realize that a monumental serpent is speaking to you now. Your last certainty was that you died some time ago and that it is about to happen again. Frustrating. You are slow to understand the serpent. It speaks in a language that recalls very ancient memories of words you learned long ago. If you are not going to die, I suppose we must speak instead. Who are you? Well, it just said our name is Juno, so my name is Juno. You are a Juno. It means nothing to me. Maybe I have asked the wrong question. What are you? What is your purpose? It didn't say she was a mender, so I don't know, I can't remember. Inconvenient. Must I tell you what you are? You're a thief. You have something that does not belong to you, and it is mine. Do you not recognize me? What do your prophecies say? The gods gave you a prophecy. Fate? Destiny? Is there no child coming to slay me with a magic sword? Are there no stars in the sky foretelling this disaster? Do you truly not know? The gods are dead. Dead? How is that? Are you a god? No. The gods are silent, and before me stands one who knows not what they have done. Listen carefully now, for I will give you a prophecy. I am the end. Do you understand? This world, this tapestry, I would devour them. It is my purpose. But I cannot. Instead, now comes a wall of night to consume your pitiful world. A wall of night? The dredge? Dredge? Stone men marching across a long bridge? No. It is darkness. The egg white is turned black. I am meant to devour the tapestry itself, not idly witness the dusk smother this rock. I am incomplete. A worm crawling through a dung field. Because of you. Who are you to take my destiny? What are you? Return what is mine. Interesting. It seems as though our Ely friend is at a bit of an impasse. Avon. Juno. You're alive? You're alive? How? Where are you? Wait, where am I? Asleep, I presume, or unconscious. I'm in Ridgehorn, I think. A serpent was trying to kill me, and now I'm talking to you. Time is moving strangely. I've lost swaths of memories. But I found you, for a short time at least. The serpent said something about a long bridge. So I took a guess. It came after you? We saw it at Einertoft. Are you okay? It tried to turn me to ash as we spoke. I'd be surprised if that's the last we've seen of it. I could tear the land apart or crush cities if I wanted. What do we do? It gets worse, a prophecy of the gods that I've never heard of. There are still prophecies out there? It was vague and sounded like that serpent was supposed to swallow the world. Instead, some kind of darkness or nothingness is seeping away from the north. It devours whatever it touches. That would explain why the dredge is swarming on us like someone kicked an anthill. Avon, are you in danger? You could say so. Bellower is here. The Varl are holding him off, but not for much longer, I think. Of all the Sunder, why the immortal one? Bellower. That is the worst of luck. I would have you come to me, but we will have to do this the hard way. Listen closely. I will return to Strand and find passage down the Red River. You must leave Einertoft and meet me in Sigerholm. Juno, we'll never make it to Sigerholm. Bellower is about to overtake us. The Varl won't listen to a thing I... Find a way, and do whatever it takes. I will not be able to contact you again before Sigerholm, so go. And Avend? Yes? I love you. Well, it appears as though things are getting a little bit mushy up in here, a little bit uncomfortable, hot under the collar, whatever. Mender's got to get a little bit of love too, so I don't judge. You spent a lot of time next to him since he passed out. Just keeping an eye on him. It's not like that, Dad. He saved Ivor. He might save the rest of us. Can he hear us? He just moved. How long was I... You were out for a couple days. How do you feel? Juno, she's alive. I need to go meet her in Sigerholm. Whoa, slow down. Who's Juno? She's my mentor on the Mender Council. She contacted me. Contacted you? How? She's not like most Menders. What happened here since I passed out? The Varl are holding back the dredge just barely. Bellower has disappeared and Ivor is still out of it. Gerunder sent Hakon, Luden, and a couple hundred Varl away to Arborang. I don't know how long we'll be able to hold out here. Rook, I need your help. Take me to Sigerholm. Juno is going to meet us there. Sigerholm? That's got to be a week away at least. And just abandon Einertoft? Maybe. Well, no, I could destroy that godforsaken bridge myself. That would delay the immediate threat, but Gerunder will never agree to it. I need to understand a few things, Avend. Let's see, we can ask why the king won't destroy the bridge. We could ask him how he can collapse the bridge by himself, or what do we do about Bellower, and then what's going on around here with a serpent and Bellower. I'm gonna go for a double whammy, since we can ask 3 things at once. All the other ones are just one topic, so in the interest of delving into a tad of a bit of information here, I'm gonna go for number 4. The more questions we ask, presumably the more answers we'll get. So what's going on around here? That serpent, Bellower? Look, I know it's a long story, but how well do you know history? We're from a very small town in the woods. Well, then I'll keep it short. That was his polite way of saying, alright, you're stupid, so I'll keep it short. You know how Men and Varl were made, the Loom Mother, the other gods? In the First Great War, the armies of Men and Varl hated each other. They fought bitterly for land and dominance. Then one of the gods created the dredge, and they were such a threat that unless Men and Varl set aside their differences, they threatened to wipe out both races. So they did. They ended the war, pushed the dredge into the north, and formed an alliance that has held ever since. The Second Great War began generations later. The dredge rallied their forces, defeated the Varl, who watched the borders, and laid waste to unsuspecting settlements throughout the world. They were led by Sunder, a powerful dredge warlord, weavers like Bellower. And then there was a Second Great War. Humanity was on the brink of extinction when the inner circle of Menders went forth, and finally sent Sunder and the dredge deep underground. For the most part, the dredge haven't tried to return since. Well, until now. Those Menders were called Valka. Juno wasn't there herself, but she's from their bloodline, so another great war has begun. If I didn't think the world was ending, it would be incredible. Ancient history is playing out before us. What about the serpent? That's another story. There's nothing in the Menders libraries about that thing. It must have something to do with the dredge returning. It seems likely. Well, what do we do about Bellower? I can't stop him, but I believe Juno can, and that's why we need to go. We could just leave and let the Varl die to give us a head start? It's not my first choice. I've done everything I can on my own. Well, why won't he destroy the bridge? I can't completely understand it myself. The last time I mentioned it, he made his mind very clear. He'll let the city and the rest of the world fall before that damned bridge. How would you collapse the bridge by yourself? Not by myself. I could blast it apart, but this bridge wasn't made to fall. It'll take time and concentration. That's why I need your help. And the Varl will try and stop me. That would mean holding off both the dredge and the Varl. You consider your options. I need time to think about this. I understand. Be quick, Rook. There has to be some way to... I can't believe that the Varl would be so stubborn. Speak to Gerunder yourself. He's in the Great Hall. Maybe you'll have more luck. Or maybe he'll put your head on a spike. Rook, I hate to put all this on your shoulders, but I've got a few friends here. Come to a decision quickly. Either way, we can't stay. We have to make it to Sigerholm, and Juno will know what to do. Alright, so we've got a little bit of a factional imbalance here. It's giving us not a ton of choices. We don't have a lot of renown to play with either. I wish we had more renown, because obviously there are things up at the market that I'd like to purchase. They've got another whalebone needle. I think they had that in one of the other encampments for maybe the other group. One of our groups already has that item so that we can sew our gear together whenever we rest. He's got a lot of supplies, but we don't get quite as many as I would have liked per our expenditure, and we don't have a lot of renown anyways. It's been a long time since we've upgraded anybody, and I'm starting to get very nervous about leveling up my troops. I feel as though I definitely want to have my entire A-team at least level 5 before we get out of here, with maybe some standby units at level 5 too, so I'm very nervous about spending more on resources. However, we only have a week's worth of resources left, and they said it's going to be at least a week to Sigerholm, and this game has a way of throwing wrenches into well-made plans, so who even knows at this point. Let's go to the Great Hall, and we can either destroy the bridge or we can go to the Great Hall. I'm going to try and talk to Gerunder first. I doubt, it seems to me as though the Varl are pretty stubborn thus far. Like, they don't seem to have a good mind for changing their course of action once they've made it up, but maybe we can talk him into allowing us to break the bridge first. And whatever happens, we're going to go for the diplomatic approach up front, I guess. It's going to be priority number 1. You'll do as I say. I'm not here to argue. I'm telling you that we're dying by the dozens every day now. You sent our best away with Hakon. How long do you expect us to last? You asked for this command, Fasalt. Don't let them get across that bridge. Fasalt takes his leave as you approach. Not great timing, you think to yourself. Thank you for the audience. I forget your name. That's how you open up a polite conversation. Rook. Rook, how is Ingvar? Will he survive? I think so. If I remember Ingvar well enough, he hasn't told you why he faced down Bellower, did he? No, he keeps things to himself. Yeah, that seems about right. Ingvar confronted Asunder in his youth during the Great Wars and won that fight. None other but Menders have done that. He proved us stronger. Maybe he thought he would do it again. Ivor killed Asunder? How did he end up in Skoger? You'd have to pry that from him yourself. I have no idea. He disappeared when the last king tried to name him Kender. It occurs to you that Gerunder would not be on the throne now had that happened. But why are you here, Rook? Be brief. The bridge needs to be destroyed. Oh, you have the answers. Wonderful. Come sit upon my throne. Every man I've ever met thinks he's a rival of the gods himself, if only he were in charge. I'm over 400 years old, and I know that I know a little. You're a child, an infant, and yet you know everything. Listen, human, this story is not about you. If you jump from that bridge today, the world would not change. Now either help Fasalt retake it or leave my city. I don't care which. Guards are quick to usher you from the Great Hall. You don't resist. So it looks like the course of action we're going to have to take is to help Fasalt. We can fight on the bridge or we can destroy it outright. Now, Fasalt is out on the bridge, which leads me to believe if we destroy it, he's going to fall down into the depths below. But we could definitely use his help in the future. Seeing as we just lost a tank, we could use another one to take his place. If I remember correctly, Fasalt's the one who's able to taunt enemies for the course of an entire turn. Let's fight on the bridge, because I want to get more renown anyways, so we'll take what we have. First, let me look at my heroes list, though, from... Yeah, we've got a lot of people who are beat up. That doesn't leave us in an amazing spot. We'd be going with a B team for sure, and there's no option to rest right now. Well, Alette and Rook are still up, as is Oddleif. Let me have a look through some of my heroes, and we'll figure out what kind of optimal party we can scrape together from the remnants of what we had before. We're definitely going B team on this one, but sometimes that's the only decision that you have. We can go with Fasalt, obviously, and I believe from what I remember, Fasalt is able to taunt people, so as I said before, I'd like to level him up. Let's drop Avend. We'll bring in Fasalt. He's level 1, so it's going to be in our best interest to level him up as well so that he's not quite so weak by comparison. We do have Hogan and Mogan. We have 1F too. And what was Onef's ability? That's right, he charges through enemies and then he stabs backwards. Okay. It's kind of a weird ability. I'm not sure where I would employ it, except for if I was trying to run through to get at archers. It might be a nice ability to use there. He's got decent linkage and pretty high willpower. And you'll forgive me, it's been a day or two since I played last, so I need to refresh my memory. And I didn't think about doing it before I started recording. We've got Grudge Wielder, Eckelt here. What was his ability one more time? He knocks back all units to be knocked back, friend or foe. That's not a terrible ability. So I think I may go with Ekkel as somebody else. He's going to be our backup guy to soak damage. Now for other units we could bring Krumir, and Krumir has the ability to take enemies and swap them, allies. He can basically sacrifice his turn so that allies can play it out. I don't know if that's going to be an amazing thing to do right now, but we could probably pick Hogan or Mogan to come along with us. How's Mogan doing? Mogan's about to level up, so I think I'll go with Mogan first. We don't have a spear wielder right now. I'm gonna have Rook go last because his ability is really kind of useful in that sense. For her, she has a promotion ready to go, but what's it gonna cost? 10? We don't have the 10. I wish we did, because we could definitely use another person with a big armor sunder ability. I may think about dropping Oddleif and bringing Krumir instead. Or Hogan, so that we have both Hogan and Mogan as DPSers. Oddleif, you guys had told me down in the comments, and it was a little bit of a spoiler, but you had said not to use Egil or Oddleif anymore, which gives me the impression that they're going to pull out on us, which would suck. Let's go Hogan and Mogan on this one, and see how it goes. I can't guarantee that that's going to be an incredibly astute choice, but we might try it for now. This is the least amount of Varl we've ever brought into a battle, but I think we'll be alright. Hopefully I can be reasonably decent at being a tactician here, and we can get something done appropriately. Let's fight on the bridge. We'll get this one started. Obviously, we're not going to make it all the way through this battle in this episode, I don't think, but at the war front, rows of Varl are lined up waiting for their turn to fill in as the warriors on the bridge battle dredge in one endless churn of bodies and blood. Fasalt catches your eye in between giving orders. You lost, human? Let's see how things are going first. If he says that it's hopeless, then we may as well not do it. Going great, as you can see, sneers Fasalt. Let me know when you want to help out, he says dismissively, his attention returning to his command. Okay, so it appears as though he's being dismissive. We're not going to get much more information than that. I was hoping that I could get the approval of somebody else from the battle line. We might be able to do this behind Jarunder's back, but it doesn't look like we're going to have that option. Let's offer to help. Fair enough, Fasalt admits. I'm not going to argue against putting you on the bridge, but we've got plenty of wounded here as well, so if you can work a needle, well, we can either treat the wounded or we can fight on the bridge. Let's fight on the bridge because we could use the renown. Fasalt nods and puts you in line with the others. Don't be a hero, he grunts. Kill a few and come back alive. A slow terror begins to creep in from waiting to go into battle, and eventually you find yourself face to face with rows of dredge packed shoulder to shoulder. Unfortunate, but this should allow us to let blood just a tad for some of the people that have never seen the front line. And seeing as we've lost some people, I don't like the distribution of our levels right now. I want higher level people, which means we need more renown. So let's get it trucking. I am going to try and play this one safe. I don't want you to think I'm just trying to fill loading space right here, but I am going to go out of my way to play this one safe if I can get away with it. Backline fighters. So it looks like we've got a lot of melee units in here, which means we're going to have to close the gap quickly. What I'd prefer to do is we could send Fasalt in to occupy this big bruiser right here, but he hits so hard that I think I would like to take my time and see where the enemy distributes themselves before we go much further. I don't want to collapse in too tightly, but at the same time, I do want to have a concurrent line. Since we're using a lot of these units right here, I forget what they're called, but regardless of what their name is, their ability is that anybody adjacent to them adds to their final damage when they strike their final blow. So fighting in a tight formation like this is definitely going to benefit us. As well, I think they get an armor bonus for standing side by side. I don't recall, but I'm pretty sure they do. We're going to spread out just a tad here. Let's make sure that everybody's in a row. And they are fielding a couple of the units that have explosive attacks. So if we can avoid getting ourselves butchered up here in the front, that's what I'm going to try and do. He's got Malice. Unfortunately, he can't do much with it. We're going to have everybody rest for now. And we're going to see where the battle distributes itself. It looks like the big guy is somewhere in the middle of their formation. So we're just going to hold up for now. Is he up next? Who's up next? Okay, so I don't think they're going to be able to close the gap in between here and the next turn. So let's just have ourselves a little resty-do, a little siesta in the middle of the battlefield. And we'll hope that things rearrange themselves in a suitable fashion. He's going to get an attack. That's fine, though. I'll take it. We don't have the mender with us, so we won't be able to mend armor, unfortunately. That means we are going to have to close gaps a little bit more rapidly than we might want to if armor starts to fall off quickly. Now with her, unfortunately she's not like Rook and she can't move through our own lines. And at her maximum, she still can't get anything done, so let's hang back. Okay. So with Hogan and Mogan, he's not going to have a turn for a while. Let's continue to chillax a bit. And I'm not saying that to be punny because they're using axes, but they are indeed chilling with an axe at the moment. We could get up in here and start taking shots at him to limit his usefulness on the battlefield, and I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and take a freebie shot. And with 5 damage having been done, that does drive him back across the field too. Now what this does is it also puts Rook in a nasty situation of having been extended. So what I'd like to do now is we'll move forward and start to make a coherent line. He fortunately is not able to get an attack off, which is good. We're gonna wait and see. So where's Rook at in the rotation? So we've got big dude coming in, we've got him coming in, we've got him coming in. So he'll get an attack, but he's already weakened, and he may get an attack. I think we could still hold the line here, so that's what I'm gonna do. That front is advancing a lot quicker than the right front, I said the right flunt, which the right flunt. A flunt sounds like a swear word. That definitely sounds like a word that you would not want to call somebody at a wedding, so I would avoid using flunt, even though I bet it has no definition. We could assign it one, though, if we really wanted to. With the way our movement's at right now, I think we should shift this front to keep everybody out of the firing line. He's going to come back in Sunder armor, I can virtually guarantee that. So there it is. With, I'm sorry, I almost called her Onleif, or Oddleif. With Alette, what we'd like to do is we need to sit her down in the front. And what I'd prefer to do is let's completely and totally eliminate him from being useful. What I want to do is turn them in. You guys mentioned that I've been using my units inefficiently, my archers that is. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to keep them stationary because you guys said they get a bonus, which I keep forgetting about. It's a bonus that unfortunately I haven't been making very good use of. Let's go ahead and arrange our front line now. And we'll see what Big Man's going to do here. So he's going to take that swipe, unfortunately. With him, our only option is going to be to go ahead and start sundering his armor off. And such is the problem with using level 1 tanks, unfortunately. On this side, I'm not sure what to do with the remaining forces. I think I should probably feed them some form of tank. But for now, we've got to hold this front. We got a deflection right there, which is always nice. I'm going to move them into back-to-back formation. And since he's got somebody adjacent, we might as well go bloody flail on that guy. I don't know how much it's going to help, but at least it's something. Okay, so his strength has now been reduced to 13, which means he's no longer a huge damage-dealing force on the battlefield. He can injure us, but he can't injure us quite as badly as we might be terrified of. With her, we're going to open up on him to eliminate his ability to deal damage because he's only an 11. That 13 remains one of the more terrifying enemies on the battlefield, so let's handle that. I'm going to try and kill him off before we end this episode. That's where I'd like to end myself anyways. On this side, we are going to have to deal with something over there pretty soon. But here, he's only got 8 strength. That's disappointing. With an 8 strength, I'm going to have him break off. That does unfortunately leave an opening for the big guy. Well, I wish I could undo that now. I've made a mistake, and I'm going to pay for it. He's going to move into here, and he's going to strike Alette. I can almost promise it. Unless I fill the gap with somebody else. 6 damage, really? Where did that 6 come from? He deals 10. Oh, she's at 4. Christ. Okay, so we have a pretty major issue right now. All these 10s and 9s are looking scary. I'm gonna work on removing people from... I don't know. I have no idea who I should be striking out at right now. Big guy's coming up next. And these guys don't get a turn for a while. I mean, he is dealing a lot of damage, but we'll try I'm gonna get rid of big guy first. Okay, so he's gonna run away, and he's gonna force my hand into attacking him on the next turn. And who do I have remaining? So he's gonna be able to go over there and kill him off, hopefully. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with her on the next turn. I've got to do something with her. But anyways, let's worry about him for right now. Could either wipe him out or I could get started on him. Let's get started on this cat. I don't really know what his willpower, his linkage is. It's only 1, so we can deal 3 damage right there, which is enough to remove him from being able to damage most of our mainline units, and so yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Unfortunately, because the game lacks a system where it punishes people from leaving engagements, once again, there's a reason, if you look at attacks of opportunity in other games, there's a reason those were implemented, is so you couldn't just walk willy-nilly through combat. Like, clearly he's engaged with this unit right here. I just struck him. This game allows you to just walk out of combat whenever you feel like it, so unfortunate, to say the least. I should probably get started on him or kill him, and I don't know which is the proper choice. He doesn't get to act for a while, so I think I'm going to leave him for Ekel. With this unit here, my consideration to be made then, I think is going to be to, if I strike at him with Bloody Flail, he's going to do a lot more damage. Or I could get started on this unit and make him not hit so hard, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So we'll go with Bloody Flail on him. There we go. So he's not so scary anymore. 7 damage is not anywhere near as bad as the 10 he was doing before. With these units here, I'm going to continue doing the same thing. We're going to step him over to here. We're going to Bloody Flail this guy. Just whittle him down a tiny bit. And depending on what... So he didn't deal enough damage to get him out of center field for us, unfortunately. What I mean by getting him out of center field is that he didn't deal enough damage to where he's not a threat anymore, which is what I wanted. So over here, I'm now left with an unenviable situation where I have to decide whether I knock him out or whether I knock him out. He's got 8 left, and that guy's close to closing with him. I think what I'm going to do is, since his armor's lower, where is he at in the attack rotation? Let's find out. Oh, he's up next. Okay. Well, since he's up next, I think I'm going to go for him. And we'll go ahead and we'll use willpower on this one. How much willpower do I have left? 2. That's good. There's nobody left on the field that really needs hardcore willpower damage being done anyways, so it'll be okay. This should work out in our favor. Assuming we don't lose anybody. Now for him, his job's going to be to come over here and kill this guy before anything terrible happens there. Good. And so we got our first kill. We earned ourselves a little bit of a promotion. Or, I'm sorry, an achievement. And that leaves me with some options here. I think what I'd like to do is I'm going to close the gap before this guy gets his next turn, and that'll put him adjacent to Rook. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted Bloody Flail. Let's go Bloody Flail on this guy. Good, so now he's down to 5, which means he's not scary at all. He'll probably bust some armor right there. That's okay. I'll take it. And over here, we've got to decide what we want to do now. I think I'm going to continue working on him with Bloody Flail. Just for whatever extra damage I can do. There we go. Some extra ancillary damage, just so we don't have to worry about any weird, nasty things occurring to us. He can take a shot at just about anybody he wants to now. But I think I'm going to have a Rook take a shot at him. So there it is. That's going to back him off a tad. I hope none of these guys decide to drop any explosives around. That's what I've been worried about over the course of this battle. Now with Ekel. Ekel's going to wipe out... Well, what is Ekel? Let's try his ability out. We'll do Guts. Okay. Well, I just wanted to see what it would do. I didn't know. I thought maybe it would knock people back through other people and then it might work out in our favor, but it doesn't look like that's how it's going to work for me. Over here, we definitely got to make a dent in him. Fortunately, the force wasn't with us, so we didn't get enough damage right there, and so now Rook is taking some damage from that last guy on the field who has any strength left. Let's get out here and make sure that he stays that way so that he can't do that on the next turn. And if all you do is bust up his armor, bad luck. Really, really bad draw right there, unfortunately. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of him with a Mark Prey. No, that's not what I want. There we go, Mark Prey. Little bit of extra renown to be had, and that leaves Ekel in the spot where he can probably ace somebody now. So I'm gonna get rid of this guy in the back. So down he goes, and Ekel's earned himself a promotion. I think they're probably just gonna work Rook from here on out. So let's get Hogan and Mogan a bit of the XP. And I think I'm gonna break the episode off here, actually. We'll finish this episode right now. Yeah, we're running over a tad. Oh, how did he do a 5? How? Oh, I missed that. I'm an idiot. Oh my god. Well, what a place to break off. How did I not see that 5 in the back? Ridiculous. Anyways, well, I'll see you guys in the next episode where I'm sure we'll be queued up for some more tactical stupidity. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the next episode of Stoic Studios' The Banner Saga. I'll see you guys tomorrow and take care out there, everybody.